Hello everyone, my name is Arsenia and welcome to ICM Instagram page. Welcome to the first video of our new project where I'm gonna be interviewing students from different countries to find out their perception on studying at KUAS. Our first guest speaker is Alessandro Simoniti. Hello Alessandro, thank you so much for your participants. And my first question will be, where are you from and why did you choose Austria for living and specifically KUAS for studying?
Okay, so nice to meet you. Hello. I'm from Italy and I live near here. I live 2 hours from Villach, and I decided to come here in Austria to study because, first of all, because I like the program that we're studying here in the KUAS. I like Intercultural Management, and it was a specific program that I looked for studying here. Moreover, I also like Austria. It's a nice country. I've always visited it since I was a kid, since I live close to the border, and finally also because a friend of mine suggested me this university, this program, because he came here to study some years ago, and he really appreciated it, and yeah, I think I appreciate too. So that was a nice suggestion.
Yeah, and maybe you can tell me about any specific challenges you faced while preparing for coming to Austria or already after moving in?
Well, since I'm an European Union student, citizen student, it was not a huge problem to come here in Austria. I didn't need any visa. I could come freely into Austria. However, I had to prepare, of course, some documents while I was here. I had to find accommodation, and that was maybe one of the most difficult parts because Villach is not a huge city and it doesn't have a lot of accommodations for students. It has already some accommodations like near the university or in the city center, but it's difficult to find it by yourself, so that may be the most difficult part, especially if you're one of the latest to come. I had to live my first month in an Airbnb, but yeah, beyond all of this, it was not that hard to come here in Austria. It was actually pretty relaxing in the end.
Yeah, so basically it's the first tip from our interview. Before you even accept it to our university, please check the availability of accommodation. Okay, Alessandro, as far as I know, you had experience with studying in Italy, right?
Exactly.
Can you maybe tell me about some differences in, I don't know, learning, teaching system?
Yeah, of course. So I was studying in Italy for 1 year in Trieste, and it was a nice place. It was a nice university, but the method in which I was studying there was not the best one, in my opinion, at least for learning how to do something, not just to memorize everything in a specific subject. Because in Italy, we study more focused on the theory, so on the rules, on the everything that you can find on books, but here instead I like it more because we can study based on practice, based on what we are going to do in the future, and it's more focused not on details but on the general part and to how to do it. So it's studying the method that I think is better for finding a job afterwards, because it already gives you some parts of experience, I would say. And yeah, I appreciate really this part here in Austria.
Okay, Alessandro, you told us already about some differences in teaching system in Italy, and now I would like to ask you about some cultural aspects in Austria that surprised you the most.
Okay, so in Austria, the culture it's pretty different than mine. It's even if it's like really close to Italy, it's still a different culture. And the most difficult things to bear about the Austrian culture in general were especially the timings, because in Italy we, as an example, have lunch at 1:30 and have dinner at 8:30. In south of Italy it's even later, and here in Austria it's like 2 hours before, 1 hour before, and it's pretty difficult for me to understand how to deal with it. Of course, I can cook by myself and I can decide my timings, but also here at university I have to eat like usually at 11:50, so it's pretty early for me that time. It's coffee for us Italians. So, and also apart from this, it's the basics of the relationship with people, how do people relate with each other. It's pretty different than in Italy, of course. Not that much in this case, but in Italy we are more warm when we communicate with others. Instead here it's more colder way to talk, colder way to speak, and a different way also in the context, in the communications. So this is these are the main differences that I noticed, but also some good parts about more organization, better services. Not everything is perfect, but at least it's better than what I experience right now.
Yeah, actually, Alessandro is our food expert, so if you need any restaurant recommendations, just contact him. How can you rate Italian restaurants from 1 to 10 in Fila?
Oh, depends who is actually the chef there, because yeah, I mean, if it's Italian, usually it's 8. If it's not Italian, I don't go there, so I cannot rate them.
I know that many students are really worrying about the fact that they maybe cannot find friends here. And my next question will be, was it difficult for you to find international friends here?
Okay, so let's start by saying that at the beginning it's not the easiest thing to make friends, because everybody is coming from different parts of the world, so everybody has to adapt to a new environment, to a new culture. So at the beginning it's a period of adaptment, I would say, to the new environment, but after that it's pretty easy, I would say. Also because there are a lot of cultures, both in your class, in the FI, in the EQUAS, and in general in Villach, because Villach is a rather international city, especially for companies like Infineon or also Strabag, which is the first one is a German company, the second one an Austrian, but they hire from a lot of places. From my side, I see a lot of Italians there working there, and I made friends with them, but there are also people from all over the world, I have to say. So you can find whoever you want here in Villach.
Yeah, but it's good that you have this home part here, I mean, communication with Italians. And do you think it's easier to connect for yourself, I mean, with internationals or with Austrians?
Okay, so it depends, I think, on your future plans, because if you want to stay in Austria also after studying here, I think it's a nice idea to make friends with Austrians, and because you're gonna live with them for a long part of your life, we can imagine. So I suppose that it's a nice idea to do that. However, in general, it's a nice thing to make friends also with other cultures, because that's why we're here. That's why we're studying Intercultural Management specifically. So it's important, and it's also something that opens your mind, because you see a lot of things that you could have never imagined. I saw a lot of cultures that I could have never imagined, like that in Eastern Europe in general, you don't have a time to eat. It's something that was completely strange to me when I first saw it, yeah.
But that's the thing that you will learn on our program, how to adapt.
Of course.
Okay, next question. How does it feel or felt to live in a country with the language that you don't speak?
Okay, so at first it was pretty complicated to communicate with locals. Sometimes they were not talking in English. I don't know if they were not willing to do that, or they just didn't know precisely the language, so they preferred to speak in German. However, after a few classes with our professors, our fantastic professors, I managed to actually know a couple of words. So when I went to the grocery store or to a cafe, I could speak with the waiters or the workers there, and it wasn't that hard. Of course, it takes time to get to know more complex sentences and words, but in general, that's what you need. Also, you can speak in English, mostly people will understand it, so it's not a huge problem.
Yeah, we are saying hi to Mr. Kola and Miss Silke. Okay, now I want to conclude our interview with the question, what is the best thing of being student here?
Ooh, okay, so being student here is a really nice experience, I think, because as I said also before, you get to know a lot of different cultures, you get to know a new way to also learn. For most, I think, students, it's a new way to learn this one, and most of all, it opens your mind, because it's a really international environment, something that I've never seen in any place before like this, and I couldn't even expect it, because Villach is a small city, I would say, but yeah, I didn't see this kind of internationality even in Milan, even in Rome. So I think that here, yeah, it's a really nice place to learn and to grow up. So yeah, that's one of the most beautiful things of being a student here. And of course also parties at Plazoning and stuff. We have to make them more often, but yeah.
So actually it's one of the most popular phrases we usually say in Intercultural Management program is that we bring the world to Fila, and it's correct. So thank you so much, Alessandro.
You're welcome.
It was so important for our future students to actually understand what's going on in Fila.